Okay, it's been a long time since I talked about my classic Wallace briefcase. One of my oldest running styles. Probably one of the first styles that I started making when I started doing these briefcases. It's especially with the London tan. When I first started making these cases, it was always all in London tan. That's what the requests were, with this English key lock, and usually with a natural lining, and then suede. I started doing suede, and then people really liked that, so they started ordering the suede. So this is my Wallace style briefcase in authentic English bridal leather. It comes imported from the UK. It's this is the real stuff. It's waxy. It's really fine, really refined. If you want a briefcase that just looks impeccable, you want to make your case with the UK English bridal leather, which the American bridal leather is just as nice, maybe not as shiny, fades a whole lot better. But this one is the UK, and it's lined in calf suede in red. Really nice, soft, thin. Another thing I wanted to talk about this briefcase. I've been making these cases for a long time, probably over 15 years. And I don't think I rarely get the question about weight. And I'm surprised, because some of the briefcases that I've made for customers, and I got one coming up that's going to be a tank of a briefcase. They requested. I know you guys want that, and I'm just surprised. I think I understand why you want something that's going to last. I know exactly when you get those thin leather cases, bags. You got a couple of years of life, especially if you're a professional and you're using these a lot. You want them to last a good 10 years at least, and more. So I know why you want that thick leather, but there is weight to it. So I make a variety. The majority of what I do make is with the thick leather by request. It seems like most people want that, but I do make lighter briefcases, and there's two ways I do the lighter briefcase. The first way is how I built this, is by using just thinner bridal leather, just thinner cut of a leather, and I use the calf suede. The calf suede is also a thin leather to begin with, really nice. So that's one way. It keeps it authentic. It's just pieces of leather stuck together, and it keeps it old. It keeps it classic, I should say. So that's one way. You'll have the suede, a nice thin, durable calf suede, and you'll have the thinner cut bridal leather, or leather for that matter. Usually this just works best with the bridal leather, because the bridal leather is stiff. If I was to use the softer leathers, like the chromium tan leathers, and just put a suede lining, it wouldn't be as stiff as this. You'll get it floppy. It'll just flop over. So it usually works best with a stiffer bridal leather that's thinner than my average bridal leather that I use, which is thicker, probably as double the size of this. Usually when people get no lining, you'll want to do the thicker bridal leather, just because it's durable, it's thick, and you got that the natural lining. So you know, it's not as refined as this, but still, you can still maintain the thickness, the full grainness of the leather, and still have a nice, solid, structured briefcase. The other way I do a thin briefcase, we're talking thin, maybe this briefcase as you see it is maybe what, 4 pounds, with the straps. You know, this is real brass lock, brass buckles, with a bar underneath. They use an aluminum bar to keep the weight down. It's still strong. You're talking about 4 pounds, if that. But if you wanted to go even thinner, or another way to use maybe softer leather, not bridal leather, or a thinner bridal leather, I usually do this with the American bridal leather. I can cut it really thin, paper thin, or use a softer chromium tan leather, another type of leather, even alligator or some of the luxury leathers. What I'll do is I'll build it around a structured cardboard barrier. So I'll put cardboard, special cardboard that's made for briefcases. It allows it to breathe and move. It's not the cardboard that you see on a box or anything like that. It's specially made for leather. So it doesn't rot, it lasts long, and you have good flexibility. It sticks to the material as well. So I'll build a briefcase like that, and I'll get it even lighter, maybe up to like 3 pounds, maybe even lighter. If I really cut the leather paper thin, I could get it as light as you want it. Will it last as long? Obviously not. It's just not. That was my phone. Obviously, it's not going to last as long. The thicker you go with the leather, the longer it's going to last. It's just more to it. It's the animal's, full grain of skin. When we start cutting down and making this leather thin, sure, we'll keep the full grainness of the top part of the leather, but we're cutting the inside of the leather, and it does cut into the fibers and into the durability, but you're not going to have a brick or a tank of a briefcase if that's your concern. I do have some people have that concern. Some women have that concern. They're professional, they want to carry a briefcase, but they're not carrying a 7-8 pound without anything inside of the briefcase. They need something that's workable. So I can do something like that, and in that case, we can use almost anything. If I'm going to build a cardboard barrier, and I do that a lot with my women's handbags, especially the Alea bag that I make, I build a cardboard barrier, and I could use almost any type of leather, because I'm putting the leather on one side and I'm putting the suede on the inside, and we could do whatever we want. So just keep that in mind as an option. Just to go back to this, I've explained this style many times on my on other videos, but this is London Tan English Bridle leather, calf suede and red, double compartments, classic English brass key lock. The straps wrap around. There's no pocket, no newspaper pocket on this, which I normally do, but I made this for a client that didn't want that. He wanted these straps to move out and be able to put an umbrella in the back, or a sweater, or carry things like that in the back, which is a great idea. I recommend that. I line the straps as well with leather, and the outside shoulder strap is lined in the same matching calf suede. The inside has just some standard pockets and just 2 major compartments. Beautiful. It's just beautiful. It just feels great as well. If you want something really luxurious, it just looks good, especially the lighter colors pop the briefcase open. Whether it's this, I've done orange, which is just amazing. So you might want to think of that. If you want something more conservative, obviously the darker colors, the black and the tan. So that's that. This is the Wallace briefcase, and I explained the weight about it.